Alrighty, so this is my method of actually drawing on canvas before I paint it. I like doing this myself because I can add a lot more detail. I can get it exactly the way I want before I start painting, and for me it makes it more easy. Gives me confidence that I'm going to actually be putting the paint on the right spot. For more accuracy, I like to draw on canvas before I paint it. So I like to use charcoal, and this is just a regular pre-primed canvas. It's a 16 by 20, and we're just going to go ahead and rough this in here. Charcoal is very forgiving, so if I actually don't like what I did, all I have to do is take an eraser and erase it. It's that easy. And the nice part with that is you can actually get your picture exactly the way you want. So what I like to do is kind of rough this in, get an idea where all the shapes are that I want, and then I can go back and actually refine it if I think it needs some updating or revisions. So in this case we are going to draw a lighthouse, and I want the lighthouse to be right about here. So I want this to be a pretty straight line because we're going to go off of that. So this is actually a level. So once we get it exactly where we want, I can do that and make sure that my line is straight enough for this picture. Otherwise it looks like it's leaning and it makes it look like the perspective's off or something. So this way it's more accurate. You could easily rough that in if you want to. It's just something that I wanted to try. Let's see, the water line would be right about here. And this should be level 2. It is so far off in the distance that that can actually be a very flat line. So again, if you want to, you could use a level. And in this case, it's close. But if you want to strive for more accuracy, nothing wrong with using a level. And then I could just erase that. Come back over here and finish it off. Now, if this is square, straight right angle, you can always use a T-square. And this is the easiest way to do this. And that way you could get some really nice straight lines that way. And again, if you just want to rough it in, you're welcome to do that. Paintings don't have to be exact, and this is going to be a preliminary drawing for painting. Okay. Over by here and on the sides. This is going to be the lighthouse. And I want this to be accurate, but I also want to go ahead and rough it in so I know about where all the shapes that I want are going to be. So once I get it roughed in, I can go ahead and refine it. So come down a little. Now this is going to be pretty much straight on at this level. So these lines right here are going to be pretty straight. But once we start going down here, this base is going to be curved. And then we want this to come out a little bit. By doing this line right here, this should be equal. And as you can tell, that's not. So this way you could get it exactly where you want. Sometimes when you're just painting and roughing it in with the paint, it makes it hard to get it accurate. And you find yourself with a painting that's not quite right. So we could still fine tune this, but let's go ahead and add some more. Let's put a little hill right in through here. you can take as long as you want on this. That's a nice part with the drawing. You can make it as accurate as you like. Don't have to worry about paint drying or anything of the sort. And if you're good at drawing, that's awesome. If you're not good at drawing, it gives you an opportunity to actually practice. So we'll get all the shapes about where we want them, and then we'll go in and start detailing. So I want this to go down. I want this to actually be a little bit curved in. So just refining the shapes a little bit. This would be your horizon line. So of course perspective would be off of your horizon line. Right now we're roughing in, so we're kind of eyeing the perspective. And for the most case, as long as you get it relatively right, you're in good shape. Doesn't have to be 100% accurate, and it'll still look nice. Very, very, very easy to erase. Alright, let's see. Starting to fine tune. And at this point, you may have enough information to get where you want to as far as the drawing is concerned. But I'm going to go ahead and do a lot more detail on this. So I'm going to keep going. And you can continue to adjust it until you get it where you're happy. And if you want to go ahead and grab something to drink, grab your coffee, grab a sandwich, you don't have to worry about the paint drying. So now, right here, let's find a center point. So right now I have it, the ruler going straight back and forth, and let's do, that's about an inch out to here. Let's go 1.25 inches. Right here. And this would be about 1.25 inches to here. Now up at the top, again we'll find a center point, and we'll go 3/4 of an inch out here. Let's grab a little bit finer charcoal pencil, and 3/4 of an inch out here. So between here and here is your total width for this area. And as you can tell, just from roughing it in, I'm a little off. Some people tell me that anyway. So now with a straight edge, this can go straight down. So we could go ahead and bring that down and bring this one down. And from this point to here, we will have the total width and more accurate of the actual base of the lighthouse. So again, it's going to be through here and through here. So this point right here would be where we marked it. And to make it level, go all the way down. And now we can erase these guidelines. Don't need that anymore. Don't need that. In architecture or drafting, they call those construction lines. And you could still freehand a lot of the details and stuff, but when you get that major size right, it actually helps your drawing a lot. Go back to the straight edge. Let's go ahead and make this a little smoother, a little thicker so you can see it. There we go. And this is straight. And this one's straight. And of course, this center line can be erased, but we'll leave it in there for now, just as a guide in case we need it for anything. Okay. And fine tune, get rid of some of these little smudges. Now when we're done with the drawing, once you get it exactly where you want, we can go ahead and seal this with a fixative. Just spray a clear coat of fixative over top, and it actually seals in the charcoal. So again, let's go ahead and go straight up here. And now we have the center point going all the way through. So now this will be the point of the lighthouse right here, but now we know where this ball area is supposed to be. Let's do that. So we have a little bit too much charcoal there to actually get some fine detail. So now we can eliminate that. And this is just a circle. So now underneath, go down a little bit, bring it out. Down a little more. And very difficult to do this in what they call a wet on wet, where you're actually doing all the detail with wet paint. So now again, we need to measure here. So you find your center point, and you find out how far, and this you can kind of eye. So let's go 1 1/4 inches to both sides. So you just connect the lines now. And that's the top of the lighthouse. So this we don't have accurate. Or I don't have accurate. So going from the center, we have 3/4. We have 3/4, so this is good. Fourths and 3/4, so that's good. Bring that down. That's better. Clean that up. So this is the platform they stand on, the Lighthouse keeper. So let's go ahead and, this is going to be an oval. So if it went all the way through, it's like a platform that goes all the way around. So you have to give it some shape instead of just a straight line. And then we could bring that down. They also have a fence, or a rail, or railing, going all the way around. And this, I want this to be a tad bit smaller. So again, we could rough this in and get it relatively accurate. So just shaving off a little bit of the sides there. Again, biggest benefit of charcoal, as you can erase it. Let's clean this up a bit. The first charcoal that I started doing a sketch with, this is called vine charcoal. So it's really easy to erase, very forgiving. So here we have to put a curve because we're looking down. Clean it up a little. Now this part inside, you're actually able to see the back side of it. So you want to put an oval here as well. So it gives it depth. And then inside that, this one doesn't come out as far as that. So again, we have to adjust it. And now we could clean some of this up. So step back and check out your details and see if you're happy with them. I notice this comes down a little too far. Just going to straighten it out a little bit. Once you start getting in all this detail, that's where your drawings and your paintings really start paying off. Thank you very much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this, and if you enjoy more, please give me a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe, and I hope to see you again soon.